Hey, Shalom, Shalom, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing us word in truth and sincerity. Shabbat Chanak, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. All right, Shalom, Shalom to all the believers out there fighting for their faith in these wicked demonic times. This is an in-transit lesson, okay? On my way back home from the battlefield, just held camp out here in Memphis. And this is the video that I wanted to do on the way to camp, but didn't get to it. But now, the spirit's still on me. This is a video I was checking out before as I was getting ready for camp. I was checking this video. I was on Fox News. So, Lord's will, I'll put the video in the description box or in the comment section. Just bear with me, just sipping on some cayenne pepper tea. Okay. And the video here caught my attention. It says, Cartel takedown. Trump secretly authorizes military force to destroy, in parentheses, foreign drug cartels. And basically, in this video, they're speaking about, maybe I might put a clip or two, but maybe I just put the link so you can, check out some of it. It's a 26-minute video. You don't have to watch all of it. It pretty much says, what it says. Basically, there is a plot. You gotta watch some of these guys, man. There's a plot to. Jake is destroyed out here. Damn. There's a plot to. Basically deem the drug cartels, the Mexican drug cartels, as terrorist organizations, and will give authorization to U.S. military to actually conduct operations in Central and South America. So basically, Trump is waging war on the drug cartels, and the excuse is that they're bringing in fentanyl and killing millions of Americans, which lasts, and each year is an average of 100,000 deaths a year in overdoses. Now, in that video, they also say that China is the one that is supplying the fentanyl, but you don't see any war against China, okay, openly. Why? Because China, they have nuclear missiles. Why don't you go after China? You can see how they're going after you Jakes, you Israelites. This is all going back into Jacob's trouble, as well as this is an excuse to secure Central and South America, militarily, because they don't want any of their adversaries, funding military operations close to America. So this is a way to occupy as well as destroy Jake, but this is all order out of chaos. Because yes, the cartels are a problem. Yes, they do push drugs. Yes, they do destroy people, mainly their own, chopping heads off and all type of crazy shit, right? But Esau gave them that ability, because who really runs the cartels is the intelligence agencies. They're the ones that really run it. They're the ones that are at the top that control everything. If they want an individual in a power position, they keep them in that power position. If they don't want them in that power position, then they take them out and they set somebody else up. Because Jake is the one that's running the drugs really for Esau. Esau really capitalizing off of that. But now you can see a push to fight Jake in their own territory. The so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos in Central and South America, Venezuela, Mexico in particular. They speak about it in this video. But you see how they're blaming Jake, the reason why. And on the comment board, they're all praising Trump for, what he's doing. He's making America great again. All right, but this just shows you how the hatred towards Jake, they're not going after their own, they're going after you Israelites. There's been a effort, okay, to go come against you Jakes. All right, we were bringing out in camp how they're trying to extend the number of beds. I believe in the article it said 50,000 beds in Alligator Alcatraz. All right, going up to 100,000 beds for the migrants. So you can see that heavy hammer is coming down. Now I have this article here. This is from abc.go.com. Trump directs Pentagon to prepare options to use force against drug cartels. Okay, and I don't know, did they use ChatGPT to write this article? Because things force against, they got against twice, used twice. You know, so it's all bugged out. Bear with me. Bear with me. This dude letting me over. Alright, just give me a second. Give me a second. Alright. But basically, Trump is directing the Pentagon to use force against the drug cartels. And not just the drug cartels here in America, but actually going down into Central and South America to fight. This Edomite is always at war. He's at war with everybody. But this is his excuse. His excuse is, well, they're violent. And Jake is violent, but who set them up? All right, to be violent. All right, Esau. Now he's cracking down on all that violence. He allowed the violence to go on for how many years? How many people to die? How many people to be shot? How many people to be murdered? How many people to be, assassinated? Now he's saying we need to take back America. We need to take back America. We need law and order. All right, order out of chaos. Let me read a little bit of this article. President Donald Trump has directed the Pentagon to prepare options for the possible use of U.S. military force against drug cartels designated as terrorist organizations, because they have designated drug cartels as terrorist organizations, and now there has to be an effort to destroy these organizations. All right, because Esau, he always has to find a war, because this is what he's good at. Let me go to Genesis 27. Because this is the blessing that Esau receives. He received the blessing of the sword. Okay? He received the blessing of the sword, and he's using his blessing. He has the power to make everything good, man. He has the power to, the Rothschilds they can wipe out everybody's debt. They can wipe out the world's debt. They can make things right. They can use, they say that they're Jews, right? They can use the Bible as the actual law of the land. But they're not going to do that because they're the wicked. Okay? And their main hatred, I might get Ezekiel 35, their main hatred are you Israelites, you Jakes. Okay, so let me bring this out. Alright, I'm going to get to the point where Esau, he got his blessing. Alright, Genesis 27 and 39. Well, let me read 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, because he knew he was cooked. All right. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of thy earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And this is why Esau, he has all the resources. All right, he lives in the best neighborhoods. It really going into the elite, but that's trickled down to the average Edomite too. You have certain Edomites that are winning in this society. Okay, that's part of their blessing. Okay, they got the trickle down effect from their elites, which their secret rulers. All right, it says, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And this is what Esau, he lives by. He literally lives by the sword. He don't live by diplomatic reasoning. He doesn't live by a fair shake. He doesn't live by implementing the scriptures. He lives by the sword. But in order for him to be justified, okay, by the international community, because everything is being watched now, he has to demonize you first, just like he did with the North American Indian, Gad, the tribe of Gad. He called them savages. He said that they're raiding, villages. He'll actually go into a village where Esau's living, put people to death, and then blame the Indians. Or he'll encroach upon the Indians, and when they attack, he'll say, "See, look, see, they're violent." Doesn't that sound? What's the word? Like he's done it before. Look what he's done with Israel and Palestine. These people driving hella quick, man. Okay. He said that the Palestinians, they attacked, Hamas attacked. And then what did they do? They're on a campaign. Netanyahu said, we're gonna take over Gaza now. But that's the excuse. The excuse was, look what they've done to us. They kidnapped, they had hostages, they killed a whole bunch of people. Now we can go and we can bomb them, and we have the excuse to bomb them because they attacked us first. This is a tactic of the devil. The scriptures say, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. This is nothing other than another device of Satan. And we see that troop being prepared. We see the sword being sharpened. Now Trump is coming in, and where has his hatred been directed towards? It's been directed towards you Israelites. Under Biden, what happened? You were allowed to come into the country freely and get medical and dental and housing and food stamps. But that was all a snare in order to bring in the sword. All right, to be justified in taking you out. And the main people that are committing crimes, as the so-called mainstream media would tell you, would be Jake, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans. Okay, so you see how the narrative is being set to blame you Jakes. All right, the accuser of the brethren. And by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion. All right, it says that thou shalt break the yoke from off thy neck, and the yoke now was off his neck, because at one point under David, he was Solomon. He was in captivity under Jake. But now, I gotta go to I'm gonna read a little bit more because it talks about the hatred. But now I'm gonna go to Ezekiel 35. I gotta go there. Okay, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob. All right, who's Jacob now? The Israelites. You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. He has his hatred towards you. This is why there's no effort to go against the Chinese, to go against the Arabs as a whole. The Arabs, in certain cases, Esau is used as a boogeyman, but they're not looked at as the problem of, the United States. Who's looked at as the problem of the United States? You so-called Mexicans, you so-called Venezuelans, so-called Hondurans, all right, you so-called Mexicans, all right, you so-called cartels. Who set up the cartel? Who set up the drug culture? Who allows the drugs to come in? Who really ultimately pushes the drugs? Esau. Now he used all that. All right, he used you, Jake. Now he's done with you, Jake. Now he has the excuse to come down with that hammer. He has the excuse to come down with the sword, or to take you out under the guise, under the excuse, under the narrative of safety, making America great. What's making America great? Subduing you Israelites under his control. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. But he was supplanted again by Jacob. When you read the story, Jacob met him with a kiss. You know, he fled, okay, to his family. All right, on his, I believe it was on his mother's side. All right, Laban. No, it's not Laban. Excuse me. Uh, where it was what's their name? Man, I can't believe it's escaping me. Rachel and Rebecca. Rachel and Leah. Excuse me. Rachel and Leah. Okay. Rachel and Leah. Okay. And he ended up having children with them, the 12 patriarchs. And when Esau came to meet Esau, he was hot. He still was hot, but his anger was appeased. But now there's a lot of Israelites now. All right, and there's a lot of Edomites, and Esau still has that ancient hatred. Let's go to Ezekiel 35, and you're going to be used as the scapegoat to come down upon the earth with great wrath. See, it's the Israelites' problems. It's you black problems. All right, it's you Hispanic problem. You're the reason why the earth is messed up. It's not Esau trafficking children and Esau exploiting countries through their resources. It's not Esau giving you false philosophy and worshiping of idols, having a free society, which you can do whatever you want to do. Sin is not the problem. All right, it's you Israelites. You're the problem, because he understands. I'm talking about the elite. They understand this story going back to Jacob and Esau. They know that they're Esau. And he said, as the days of my father mourning are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And he's in that spirit of slaying you Israelites. Okay? Ezekiel 35, and oh yeah, you got to start at the top. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. Right, Mount Seir speaking about the leadership of Esau. Seir going into Esau, the mountain going into the government. Okay, like they have the summit. All right, the summit is what? The leadership of the Edomites, the leadership of France, the leadership of Britain, the leadership of America, the leadership of Denmark, right? The leadership of Spain, Portugal, Luxembourg, Germany, right? And they all come together and they work out, they plot, they scheme on what's the next move. And you Israelites, you come up as well in that meeting. What are we gonna do with these animals? Oh yeah, give them more rap music. Give them more promote more gang culture. Promote more degeneracy. Set up a new a social media influencer. Have them be a sodomite. Set up a new sexy red. It's all psychological operations upon our people. All right, well, let me get Psalms 60. Why do they do all this? Psalms 60. Give me a bit. Bear with me. Psalm 62, right? Psalm 62 and 4. It says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. So their whole game plan, when they meet together, all right, and speak about you Israelites, a lot of you don't know that you're Israelites. They know who we are. I'm talking about the mountain of Esau, the very top, the peak, the summit. They know that we're the Israelites. They know that, the Most High is dealing with Jacob. They know that they're Esau. And what's in their mind is to destroy Jacob. This is still in their heart. They're still in their mind. They haven't forgot about, the birthright, man. This is why they're trying to set up their artificial birthright on the earth, their artificial blessing. They're trying to extend their blessing. All right, and their blessing, right, go back to the sword. And this is how they got the earth, was through the sword. They didn't get it no other way. All right, they got it through beating down all the dark nations, starting with Jake, man. Cause what did they do? They took down the leadership, okay, of the Byzantine Empire, which the word Byzantine means backwards. This is how they looked at you Jakes. They knew so-called black people were ruling during that time, and they called it backwards. This is why they say civilization started with the Greeks. All right, civilization started with the Edomites, meaning their civilization, their rule, which is really a backwards rule. But we live in an upside down society where they had power for so long that they completely rewrit history and changed the narrative. Okay, but the Israelites, the leadership of the Israelites, started with the prophets, because that's the leadership. We are now bringing you the 100% truth of what happened in the past, all right, and what's getting ready to happen, what's happening now, and what's getting ready to happen in the future, and who everybody is. And of course, they want to keep this, a secret. Because why on TV there's never a positive image of the Hebrew Israelites? Because Esau understands image. He understands image is so important. And he wants to make sure that there's a bad image on us as a people. Right? Verse 4 again, Psalm 62 and 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth. They'll talk sweet and say that they love you, and even allow you to have certain positions. They have the facade that they love you. Have the facade that you can make it. Yeah, they'll let you, if you can dribble a ball, if you can entertain them, they'll throw you a couple of ducats. They'll let you get into a $1 million sports car. They'll let you buy a big ass house. Even their women will bust it down for you. Right? But just know, you better say the right thing. You better not step out of line. You better not have a political view. And if it is a political view, it's our narrative. You better not speak out against the small. Why don't you see any of these celebrities speak out against the small hat? And if they do speak out against the small hat, sometimes it's controlled opposition. They're allowed to do that. But the majority of the time, they're persecuted. So it's not too many say anything about the small hat, even if they insinuate anything. Look at Kyrie Irving. He just said that Hebrews, the Negroes was a good film, something like that, and they came heavy down upon him. They put that nigga back in his place. But how dare you bite the hand that feeds you, nigga? Okay, you're in that position because I allowed you to be in that position. I put you on my team. This is my basketball team, nigga. This is my NBA, nigga. Okay? There's 1,000 niggas that can dribble a ball. You ain't super special. But as long as Esau can use you, he'll abuse you. All right? And once he's done with you, he's going to throw you away like the dirty jigger you are. All right? So they curse inwardly. Their mindset, the elite, like we're going to go back to Ezekiel 35, the mindset of the mountain of Esau. But this is also noticeable in these average everyday Edomites that don't know what the hell is going on. All they know is that you blacks are the problem. Well, before I go there, let me go to the comment section, because you got to watch the video, right? It's 1,800,000 views, like 1.8 million views. It just was uploaded 18 hours ago. Cartel takedown. Doesn't everybody want the cartel to be taken down? Right? And most of these comments could be bots. Who knows? Who cares? But we know Esau do hate Jacob. We know that for sure. All right? I'm so tired of drugs. Down with the cartels. 151 views. They have drugs to make you not tired. with Trump back in the White House, there's going to be more episodes of Narcos. Okay, let's read another comment. Finally, we have needed this for decades. 3 exclamation marks. I absolutely voted for all this. All of this. Thank you, God, for President Donald J. Trump. 3 exclamation marks. Fight on America. Help restore peace to Mexico and free the population from a gang-riddled country. Everywhere this damn devil goes, he champions himself as a leader of the free world that's going to come and save your wicked government, the people from the wicked government. In this case, the cartels, which they say those are the ones that really run Mexico. And yeah, I would say yeah, they have a big influence. Are they corrupt? Yeah. Are they evil? Yeah. Well, the scripture said, Jeremiah 5:26, from among my people are found wicked men. Are they Israelites? Yeah. Who allows it to happen? Esau. He has the power to crack down. Okay? But he fuels this so he can have the excuse to take your ass down. This is all part of his hatred towards you, Jakes. He wants you to be in a low-level state. He wants you to cast you down from your excellency. He wants you to be a YN. He wants you to be a cartel member, a mafia, Mexican mafia. He wants you to be part of the crime syndicate. All right? Have tattoos all over your face. Be MS-13. Tren de Agua. So he can have excuse to mow your ass down. Because if you was an excellent citizen in the eyes of the Lord, he wouldn't have that power. He wouldn't be justified. So there has to be some type of justification. And he allowed the cartels to run wild for decades. Decades. Remember the war on drugs? Did that work? Now he's taking it to you in your own playground. Now it's a war on the cartels. Well, hold on. Well, isn't China supplying the drugs? Why is there a war on China? Wouldn't you go to the source? So it's a big fucking scam, man. Okay? Everywhere he goes, he's going to free the people from tyranny. He's going to free the people of Iran from a tyrannical government. The whole time, he's the most tyrannical being on the planet. Never seen an administration so happy to do the job that they were elected to do. These people really care about the people. It's refreshing to see. And hey, who knows, these would be bots, but you got a lot of Edomites that think like this too. This is yet another 90-10 issue that all common sense Americans can get behind. Right. Basically, they're basically saying we're going to declare war on the cartels and we're going to start to do military operations in Central South America. Everybody can get behind that, right? Cartels are bad, right? They send in fentanyl, they kill people, they traffic children, right? Which they do those things. But who's behind it? Esau's he's not going to persecute himself. Let's go from California. I'm with you, Mr. Donald Trump. And this is all a snare unto you people too, you Edomites, because Trump going to turn on you. He going to lock you in them detention centers as well. So I'm back in Ezekiel 35. Verse 2 again. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus said the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Because who's actually in charge? It's the leadership of Esau Edom. They're the ones that have concocted this whole elaborate plan, all right, to trap you Jakes, all right, to make you stumble, to make you fall. They're the ones that put the stumbling block in front of you. Who's the actual one who created fentanyl? Fentanyl is actually created by the pharmaceutical companies. By the way, if you didn't know, they actually give fentanyl to people in the hospital when they're under extreme pain. It's a derivative of opium. Okay, so it's a synthetic form of opium that's supposed to be so many more times stronger than heroin. All right, And when those drugs start to flood America, that was during the Vietnam War. They went over there to secure all those poppy fields. What about Afghanistan? Why did they go Afghanistan with Osama bin Laden? That was to secure those poppy fields. All right, and the information came out, but the American people, they're so asleep. They're in a deep sleep, and all right, they're in a deep sleep, and they they're so busy tied to the rat race. You got women, and these women, man, these women, you can't even call them these hyenas like the Apostle Elder Tahar says. These hyenas. All right, the woman, just leave the woman alone. The woman is concerned about herself. The woman is how can she please herself, and you can see that, you know, in especially amongst our people. But that's all these women. They go to school and they get a so-called education. They're still useless. Okay, these women with so-called educations are useless. All right, you got the education from the so-called white man, and he gives you a job, and you're able to make money. Now you can buy a car. Now you feel liberated. You got a condo. Now you feel liberated. Some bullshit. These people don't know what the hell is going on. All right, and this is all really a snare to set the legislation. All right, to lock everybody up, to have to declare war on everybody. All right, because now the war is the American citizen, and you Edomites that don't like what Trump is doing, he's going to declare war on you. Okay. So the Lord is going to lay you desolate because you're you wicked, evil, demonic pieces of shit in power. And Esau don't care. He don't care you call him those names. What he does care about is you calling him an Edomite. He can't have that. You can call him a B word, a word, a S word, a MFer. You can call him all that. Who cares? He winning. But as soon as you tie him to being the biblical Edomite, he has a problem with you. As soon as you tie the so-called black, Hispanic, Native Americans to being the true Israelites, he has a problem. Because now his narrative, it doesn't hold now. Because his narrative is that he's the child of God. And that you're a Gentile. So he can't have that. This is why there's such a cohorted effort, okay, if I said that right, to come against this doctrine, to fight against it. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Yeah, because the ultimate end of Esau, the latter end of Esau, his baby, America, right? Basra, is to be completely desolate. From the far as your eye can see here in America is going to be all desert. Desert-like creatures going to be molten lava gushing out of the earth. It's going to be a wasteland. It's going to be flat, a valley. There's going to be no mountains and, you know. I mean, it could be little, you know, because of the earth is going to move and missiles are going to hit. All right, but it's going to be like a flat wasteland with desert-like creatures, man. Okay? Because why? Why is the Lord going to lay your cities desolate? Meaning Babylon. Babylon is a accumulation of what? Smaller cities. City-states. Okay? That add to this being what they call it, the United States of America. A state is really like a city. Because within the state you have cities within a state that can be like their own jurisdiction. Like you have local government, right? You have counties, which hold particular jurisdictions, particular powers. Give me a second. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred that's going all the way back to Esau. When he said, at the time of my father, how did that read? What, you know, basically when my father mourning is at end, then when I slay my brother Jacob, not so many words. After my father is gone, and the mourning is done, I'm gonna kill this nigga Jacob, man. I'm gonna kill this nigga. He stole my birthright, and he stole my blessing. And if I kill this nigga, then the birthright and the blessing is gonna be mine, cause I'm the principal son. So he still has that mentality, okay, in his mind. I'm gonna kill this nigga, man. This is why he wants to chip the whole world, so he can control everybody. And if a baby is born into this world, he gonna chip him. Okay? They try to push that shit in Kenya, right? And they gonna push it. Best believe they gonna push it. They gonna use any tactic, any excuse, every excuse to do so because it's prophetic. Okay, but his hatred is really geared towards you Israelites. This is why you are, especially on Fox News, you are the enemy, man. And they're making sure that they're appeasing their base. They're keeping that hatred alive. They're keeping that hatred fresh. Esau and Jake loved Esau. It's really what you see is racism towards you so-called blacks and Native Americans. Now, so much the point is they're giving a $50,000 signing bonus to become a ICE officer, which is pretty much Trump's, militarized secret police. His own task force that he can come against you Israelites with, and then deport people that are actually American citizens too. And what is he sending them to? He sent them to detention centers. Okay? And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. And this is what you have done when you came over here to establish America. The land that we're walking on is bloody land. You murdered people. All right, you took something that wasn't yours. All right, the scriptures say, "Woe to him that covets another person's land," and not so many words. You take it by violence. All right, you spoil, you oppress a man and his family, his heritage. Okay, his inheritance. Okay. By the what? The force of the sword. Why? Because your blessing was a sword. This is another identifier, an indicator, a sign, a signal to tie Esau to the so-called white man. Because you're doing what I can see if it was the Chinese, right? It was the Moabites over there, the so-called Chinese, and they went around conquering the whole earth, right? They were the brother to Jacob, and they slew Jacob by the force of the sword, and that's how they ruled through the force of the sword. But that's not the case. It's the so-called white man. That's just the reality. You can get mad all you want, but that's just the truth. How about therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And we've mainly become the enemy of Jake. Esau, he deems us the enemy, but he's preparing. He got a lot of fish to fry. But best believe you, we are on the plate. We are on the his radar of how he wants to, tackle this problem that's getting out of hand. Because he just can't come and with the sword and take us down. He has to set the stage the excuse, the narrative of why he should take us down and why he's able to use force, deadly force against Hebrew Israelism, as he calls it, coined by no other than Heyman Malone, Vocab Malone, Agent Riser. Okay, they're set up to basically paint the picture, just like he did with the cartels. He allowed them to go free reign. He allowed them to murder people. He allowed them to push drugs. He allowed them to be a nuisance. Then now he can come in. I know y'all tired of it. I know y'all tired of your families dying of overdoses. Tired of children being trafficked. Tired of the borders not being secure. Tired of America, being not safe. Let's come against them now. And the people, they have public approval. So every time you hear about the Hebrew Israelites in the news, all right, or some type of influencer says something about them, or anybody says something about them, it's always in a negative light. because they need the picture to be painted. They need for people to, when they hear Hebrew Israelites, have a disdain and a hatred towards them. So now that he activates, you know, the military or some type of security force against them, they have public approval. This is what he has done with the cartel. So everybody's with, all right, Esau going down into Mexico, going into Venezuela, you know, with military action, setting up garrisons, right? Because the cartel are the problem, right? And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of the calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, because he's never let off the gas. It's all gas, no brakes, and he plans to go all out. This time his back is against the wall. Revelation 12, he knoweth that he has a short time. He's being exposed. He's being outed for being an Edomite. He can't have that. And the people that are doing that are the same people that he tried to destroy. So now he's, and we are saying that ultimately when the Most High gives us the power, we're going to destroy him. So he can't have that. That's a threat to his power, his hegemony. As mundane as Jake might think it may seem, he takes this very seriously. But he's very careful, okay, how he comes. Okay? Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood. See? So the Lord is actually preparing blood unto you. Well, why you see the chariots? The chariots are the vehicles of our salvation, and also a curse too. All right, that's going to enter into the house of the thief. Who's the house of the thief? America, Esau. And I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Said, since thou hast not hated blood, because he loves blood. Every time a new president gets into office, they declare a new war. America's always declare war. War on drugs, war on crime. Now it's the war on the cartels. To hell with the drugs. That was code word. War on you, Jakes. Shoot to kill. Jake is the problem. He's selling drugs. Now we're gonna actually go after the cartel. So but this is how Esau. Blood is as nothing to them. They love this. See, when you get carnal with them, they love it. He can really vibe out. Esau can vibe out because now he can tap into his weapons. He can tap into his blessing, man. He can tap into the sword. Okay, but as the scriptures say, for the weapons of our warfare, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And this is he can't battle a non-carnal war, a spiritual war. All right, because none of his enchantments are working. This truth is getting bigger. Okay. None of these YNs that you set up, none of this gang culture, none of this degenerate culture that you got set up, none of it is working on the elect. Okay? If it was all possible, they should deceive the very elect. You can deceive Pookie, Ray Ray, Keisha, Big Shirley. You can deceive Jesus and Pablo and Hector. Okay? And Eagle's Claw and Chief Bear, Big Bear. Okay? You can deceive them, but you're not going to be able to deceive the elect. And the Lord is having us cry out. All right? The Lord set us up as watchmen. We brought that out in the camp earlier. And it says, what? Give them warning from me. Because who's sending Eve? Who has control over Esau? Who gave Esau the blessing? It was the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So the Lord can stop Esau, or he can have Esau come down. And he is going to have Esau come down with great wrath. But he's also going to destroy Esau too. All right? It says, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Right, all your military is going down, your government structure is going down, your citizens are going down. And I will make thee perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Yeah, you're going to know Yahweh. All right, and you're going to know his son, Yahweh Shai. Because they're going to meet you. Yahweh is going to be in the missiles. Yahweh Shai is coming in the midst of the missiles. He's coming with the chariot to shoot laser beams on you. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Yeah, and you're basically saying, these are not your people. All right? These are my people. If I want to put a chip in them, I'm going to put a chip in them. If I want them to do something, they're going to do something. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. If I want to put them to death, I can put them to death. But the Lord is hearing our cry. And ultimately, that's not how the story goes down, Esau. You don't win. The bad guy loses. Okay, you get stripped from all your riches and you go into captivity. That's the only thing you need to know, Esau, is that you're going into captivity whether you like it, believe it or not. That is the reality. So you can come and declare war against the cartels, aka against Jacob. That's really the Trojan horse to add new enemies to that list of enemy combatants, of terrorists. You're going to deem the Hebrew Israelites as terrorists. You're going to have Hebrew Israelites that are set up, that are patsies, are to commit different crimes. It could be deep fakes. It could be Esau could do all type of crazy shit. We're just going to give him an excuse to shut down the internet. All right, the internet. Esau is planning to censor the internet very soon. If AI on YouTube, if AI deems you not to be a of age, they can require you to upload your ID or upload your credit card information. Okay, so it's already in. We're already in that time, man. And things are ramping up. Trump, he coming in swinging. What has he done? He has declared war against you Israelites, man. And guarantee you that same hatred is going to be turned towards the Hebrew Israelites. So we're going to see who's going to be able to withstand that persecution. All right, so I'm going to close it there until next time. Shalom to the legs.